Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this particular video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. It's actually raining right now. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this particular platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. And that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing just happens for the sake of it. Over the weekend, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, the Wiper Party leader, and Mike Sonko, the former governor for Nairobi, shared some podium somewhere in Ukambani. And during that particular event, I paid very close attention to the speech by Mike Sonko, where he revealed that he's actually part and parcel of the current deep state. He's part of William Ruto's deep state. And I also paid very close attention to this statement by Dan Maanzo. Dan Maanzo actually revealed that William Ruto became the president of the Republic of Kenya, courtesy of the votes by none other than Mike Sonko. So I want you guys to pay very close attention to what Dan Maanzo is trying to say here. And let me know whether it makes sense or not.
Lakini ile imefanya Ruto akuwe rais. Na lazima nikimkumbusha. Ni ile kura Sonko aliama nayo Azimio akaenda Kenya kwanza. Hiyo ndio ilifanya ashinda. Kama si Sonko wangeshinda, kama si wewe. Ungekuwa sasa ndiye anaandamana saa hii. Kama si wewe. Na hii familia Wakamba ile kura kidogo pia Wakamba walitoa. Hiyo 250 exactly hiyo ndio alikuwa ameshinda nayo. Kwa hivyo Ruto na Rigathi wajue wako pale kati ya Wakamba, kati ya Sonko. Minus Sonko they are finished. Kwani kura zimeisha? Si 2027 tuko. Na si wacheze na mheshimiwa Sonko waone. Akiyama hata hao wanahama. Na mimi kama nimemfanyia makesi mingi tukianzia na ile kesi ilikuwa Senate ya impeachment ya bwana Sonko, ilikuwa upuzi mtupu. Hadi wakasema ametolewa. Tukaenda High Court. Saa ile kesi iko pendi inakura anataka kusimama Pwani. Ikasemekana usiku moja majaji waamue kesi yake. Asemekane hawezi simama. Hiyo sheria ni sheria bofu sana. Hiyo sheria ingesema hata kama umekosa basi upewe miaka 5 ama miaka 10. Na ubatizwe tena urudi kwa king'ang'aniro. Lakini unajua ukienda Mombasa 2027 utaondoka na hii nchi kama president. Wakasema wacha tumalize huyu mtu. Lakini Mungu halali. Hata hii makesi ingine yote wakashika pesa yako, makesi bure yote ameshinda. Kwa lower court yote ameshinda. Sasa mimi nashangaa DPP na naona sasa amekuwa mtu mwingine wa kwenda kufanya intelligence. Sasa DPP ana apili ya nini na amepotea? Kama umepoteza lower court, ni ushahidi gani utaleta high court ambayo sasa ati utashinda kesi? Hakuna. Makesi yote ya Sonko ni ya fitina, ya kumaliza kisiasa. Na hii sehemu ya katiba hii lazima tuiangalie tena. Isipokuwa kesi ya Arusha haijaenda mzuri, mimi naona bado Mungu yuko. Na vile wewe ni kiongozi mwema wa nchi ya Kenya, upendi ukabila, unapenda watu wote na watu wanakupenda. Njia itatafutwa ukue pale kwa serikali.
Now, that's Dan Maanzo, one of the key allies of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And indeed, I've thought about the statement and I've come to the conclusion that William Ruto is actually the president of the Republic of Kenya, courtesy of the Kamba votes. For a very long time, people like myself believed that probably William Ruto became the president courtesy of the votes from Western Kenya. The truth of the matter is that Musalia Mudavadi did not deliver, and Papa Waroma is just riding because he was principal. But the truth is, if you look at the votes William Ruto got from Ukambani, the votes he got from Nairobi, and why William Ruto decided to ask Sonko to go and run in Mombasa, clearly he was up to something. He wanted to reduce some votes from Ukambani, and he also wanted to occasion some low turnout by basically suppressing the votes. You see, what Mike Sonko went through during that time, being blocked from running as a sitting governor, being impeached, being blocked from running, basically it meant that he won sympathy from Ukambani. So most people who supported Sonko by that time, probably did not see the need of turning out to vote. And that's actually added to William Ruto's votes. But what do you think is the meaning of all this? Why are they talking about all this right now?
Our party leader, ameniseti kidogo. Namheshimu sana, amesimama na mimi na familia yangu sana, lakini amesema wanarudi maandamano. Nasikia Maanzo sababu ya kutetea wananchi, lakini sijui kama mnajua mimi ndio deep state wa serikali. Unawahi kuona deep state akaenda maandamano kweli? Hapana. So mimi kama deep state nasema kama maandamano yenu itakuwa ni haki yenu, lakini yakuwa maandamano ya amani, ni haki yenu ya kikatiba. But mambo ya kupora mali ya wananchi, kupora mambo ya Wakenya, tutahakikisha hiyo haifanyiki. Na mimi sijakosewa na Rais William Ruto, sijakosewa na Gachagua, lakini kama Maanzo nyinyi mmekosewa, nyinyi endeni maandamano. Lakini Sonko hayuko hapo kwa maandamano. Ingawaje nilisema blood is thicker than politics, nilikuwa namaanisha party leader Kalonzo Musyoka ambaye tunamheshimu, mimi namheshimu, anapitia wakati mgumu. Wanaenda maandamano kila saa. Kwa maandamano kuna tear gas, kuna risasi, kuna mambo mingi. Nikasema basi tumuombe kwa ile kazi ngumu ya opposition ambao wanafanya. Kwa sababu siasa haizi kututenganisha. Yeye akiwa upinzani, mimi kwa serikali, uhusiano wetu, yeye kama relative wa hii familia, hatuwezi kosana ama kumkana sababu watu yako upinzani. Tutaendelea kupendana kama jamii, kama community, kama Wakamba, lakini siasa isitutenganishe tafadhali.
That is what I want us to look at. Before we do that, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Without any further ado, let us dive in. But before we dive in, I want to ask you guys a simple question. Was Kalonzo Musyoka part of the scheme to deliver a portion of the Kamba votes to William Ruto? I'm asking that question because if you followed Kalonzo Musyoka's moves before and during the last election, he really did not come out to support Azimio fully. But we can't also deny the fact that Kalonzo Musyoka and the Kamba Nation delivered to Azimio. But William Ruto got more votes this time compared to what Uhuru Kenyatta got in 2013 and 2017. In fact, if you take, for example, Makwiny. In Makwiny during 2013 and 2017, I think Uhuru did not even get 6%. But for William Ruto in Makwiny, he got 29%. You go to Machakos, they got good votes there, probably because of Mike Sonko. And the truth is, Kalonzo Musyoka's behavior, because he was so close to Mike Sonko towards the end, he fought for Sonko, but that case was lost. Was it part of a wider scheme? I don't know. Probably you can let me know. But why are they talking about it right now? Number one, the first reason why they're doing that is they want to remind Kenyans about the Kamba community voting bloc in the country. And if you want to understand how powerful the Kamba community is in this country, check out how Mike Sonko easily became the governor for Nairobi. How did Mike Sonko become the governor for Nairobi? Because we all know that Nairobi's politics is always tribal. You are either on this side or this side. So when Mike Sonko was contesting against Kidero, who was a sitting governor, the strategy was simple. Have the Kikuyus, then bring a Kamba. Then, Sonko is cutting across the youths, all tribes. So some will just vote for him based on Mike Sonko. But the Kamba nation, would they not choose Kidero over Sonko? So they'd vote for Sonko. And that can explain why in 2017, Mike Sonko actually got more votes in Nairobi than Uhuru and than Raila, because the campers who then voted for Raila did not vote for Kidero. They ended up voting for Mike Sonko. And this is something which now makes sense to me. Why William Ruto was so keen on having Alfred Mutua to join him and making him as a principal. Probably because William Ruto had figured out, and this is something which I think Kenya, Azimio failed to do. He had figured out that for him to be declared the president of the Republic of Kenya, he needed a certain percentage of votes from Ukambani. And he also needed a certain percentage of votes from Luhya land. And for him to get those votes, because those votes were never real votes, he needed to create a perception that Kalonzo is, that Mutua is representing Kamba, and then Mike Sonko, and then again creating the same perception in the Luhya nation. But in real sense, he only created perception, not the real votes. Sometimes when you want to rig, you must also create a perception. So that even if you rig, it would, like for example, what William Ruto is trying to do in Nyanza today. If elections were to be held in Nyanza, real elections, William Ruto would not even get 5%. But he has created a perception that he's making inroads there. So that it means if we were to rig, someone will say, okay, this guy has really put effort here. So these guys are telling the nation that there's a serious Kamba voting bloc. That message is being delivered to Raila, that it's the Kamba votes which denied you the presidency, and the same message is also being delivered to William Ruto, that without the Kamba votes, you would not have become the president. And I think it makes sense. Number two, I'm also tending to think that Kalonzo Musyoka is trying so hard to court Mike Sonko to his side. Should he be declared a presidential candidate? The truth of the matter is that the moment Kalonzo Musyoka will be declared a presidential candidate, the Kamba nation will rally behind him. If, for example, Raila Odinga were to support him, Uhuru was to support him, the entire Kamba nation would need him. But Kalonzo Musyoka would also need the support of specific leaders from the Kamba nation. One of them is Mike Sonko. Mike Sonko on Stephen Kalonzo's side would mean the Kamba votes would be a block for him. And I think that's why he's trying to make him closer to him. And that's why he keeps on attending these events with him. That's why even Sonko is talking fondly of him. And number three, I think also that it shows also how William Ruto actually schemed for the presidency in 2022. If you look at William Ruto, and I did a video earlier, which I think you guys need to check for those who have not checked it. I did a video earlier. In that video, I explained that William Ruto was able to outwit Raila and Uhuru because he planned well. He knew what he wanted at specific times and how to achieve them. So for Ruto to become the president, he knew that he needed the Kamba votes, he needed the Luhya votes, he needed the Kisii votes. Of course, he didn't have those votes, but he needed to create a perception. And he exactly created that perception. And that's how those votes then counted for him. If you look at the turnout of votes from Ukambani and you compare to the rest of the country, something is amiss. Yeah, and lastly, is there a chance that William Ruto is also on a charm offense mission to win the support of Kalonzo Musyoka? I don't know. But I tend to think that by Kalonzo working with Sonko very closely, and Sonko being a part of deep state in William Ruto's government as per his own admission, I don't want to rule out the possibility that probably William Ruto is trying to court Kalonzo through none other than Mike Sonko. And by the way, I have mad respect for that gentleman. He might have his weaknesses, but I think Mike Sonko is one of the authentic individuals we have in this country. He means well. I just saw those photos of Conjestina Achieng yesterday and today. And I think Sonko is a good man. Sometimes we need people like Mike Sonko in a country for the country to really progress. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.